Welcome, everybody, to the Dope Dichotomy podcast. My name is Mona Brown, your host, and welcome. I have a show today that's like mostly hot topics, things like that, and my phone is not down.
It's your phone?
Yes.
Where's it coming from?
I've been really good the last 2 weeks of having my volume down, and I still messed up again. But anyways, so we're going to cover a couple of different topics that's going on in Black culture. First thing, I want to do something a little different from now on. I want to have a question of the day every podcast. And today's question, a slide, is who would win in a Timberland versus Pharrell battle? I want you to leave your comments in the comment section of who you think would win. Like if they went on versus, who would win? Because that's a crazy matchup. And then I'm going to give my opinion at the end, and I will count up, the votes, and I'll post it later on the pages and all that good stuff. All right, so, yes. So speaking of the versus battle, I want to get into some battling that has been going on. So, my last podcast was the 16 Bars Challenge, and that was really, really fun. We had a couple of different local rappers come on and do 16 bars or 16 in a hook, and they had to stick to a topic. Well, we had a lot of people signed up, and some people didn't show up, but the three that did, they did their thing, and it was great. So I want to take what I learned from that and do things a little differently moving forward, but I plan on building it bigger and bigger and bigger. If you look on the screen, I have the second one coming up. The last prize was $100 and engraved plaque with the first place winner, which was AC Paper Gang. And this one, I'm going to have a great prize as well. I just don't know exactly what it's going to be. Oh, for y'all who don't know, the reason why I'm wearing shades is not because I got, hit or nothing like that. But I broke my glasses like a week and a half ago, and I'm still waiting on them to come in, and I'm blind as a bat, and these are prescription sunglasses, so I don't look crazy. I have my glasses on. But anyway, so the next topic that's going to be for the August 8th 16 Bars Challenge date is Kanye West. So to ensure people don't sign up and then don't participate, there's going to be a $20 buy-in. The buy-in money will go to the grand prize, to the winner. So the more people that sign up, the more the prize will be added, plus what the show gives, right? Also, I'm going to be very strict from now on. You have to stick to the topic. You don't have to be put in a box where you can't be innovative and creative with it, but it has to make sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's the only time I'm going to step in and say something in regards to the challenges, because I don't vote. The audience votes if you tuned in last time. But yeah, if you're interested, you can go ahead and just hit me on my Cash App and send that to Lady with Two Eyes Living. And, just say you want to join the battle and hit me up and DM me and I'll sign you up. And we're just going to keep going from there. Also, speaking of battles, did y'all happen to catch the Soulja Boy versus Bow Wow battle? Let me know in the comments, because I didn't get to watch it all yet because I was at work, but I caught some of it, and it was kind of like cute and nostalgic. It seemed like they were having fun with it. I did see a clip of Lil Romeo come out. I thought it was a little wild. Romeo said Bow Wow was Jordan because he was like, he's the leader, right? And then Romeo said he was Kobe because he was trying to get to the bag. And Soulja Boy was LeBron because he came into the game and he was innovative. I got what he was saying, but it was quite interesting. It was just quite interesting. So let me know in the comments for sure if you guys got to catch that and what you thought about that. All right, so we're going to get into some topics. You can go to C, slide C. My daggone ponytail holder is making me have a headache. Y'all know how it is when you do that, for sure. Make it 40 if you... Jessica said make it 40 if you know you're finna fake. What's up, Jen? What's up, Jessica Chandler? Thank you for tuning in. All right, so the first topic is, did y'all see the Mary J. Blige My Life documentary that's on Amazon Prime? If you haven't, and this album means a lot to you, please watch it, because I watched it today and it brought back so many memories. I have a future show coming up that's going to be 5 albums that influenced me, and the whole show is going to be dedicated to those albums. This is one of those albums. I used to go to sleep, no joke, everybody knows this, to Mary J. Blige, My Life, and Nas Illmatic every single night in high school. I used to fall asleep to it. This album, outside of this and this and Miseducation of Lauryn Hill had the biggest impact on me as far as getting out of sadness, picking myself up, things like that. The documentary goes really deep into where she was at mentally, where Puffy, aka Diddy, and I can't remember the other guy's name who worked on it, not Andre Harrell, but someone else. But she talked about they were all in really dark places because of her relationship with Casey, had become abusive. And then Puffy and Misha were breaking up, and the other dude said he was young and getting money and he was just into partying, and his life was just dark. And it brought about these songs, and they had so much pain. Like, even when you watch the documentary, she's looking back on the songs and singing them, and you can see, like, the trauma. You know what I'm saying? You can see it. But it's a beautiful story because she's saying when she looks at how far she's come past all that hurt, you know what I'm saying, all that pain, everything that she endured, it's a triumphant story, which is dope. You know what I'm saying? When I listen to My Life, it's one of my favorite albums of all time, but I'm not in the same space heart-wise as I was many times listening to it. And when you listen to it and your heart is not in that same place, it is different. Like, wow, you know what I'm saying? You can get through these things, and these albums and music help you do that. So that's what's up. You can go to slide D. And for those of you watching, I did advertise that I was going to have a guest host. Unfortunately, we're not going to have AC Paper Gang, but my boy Ray may jump on a little bit, but he is busy and doing another podcast right now. Because in the podcast world, we're often doing other podcasts. But he should be joining in a little bit if he can, if the show is still going on by the time he finishes. If not, y'all just gonna hang with me and we'll be cool with that. But make sure you make comments in the comment section so I can interact with you. So let's talk about Juneteenth. Juneteenth was made a federal holiday recently. And for those of you who don't know, Juneteenth is the day we celebrate Freedom Day in the Black community. A lot of people outside of Texas did not really know what Juneteenth was until a couple of years ago, for the most part. But it's, a lot of people always say, oh, the Emancipation Proclamation freed the slaves. But in Texas and some other surrounding areas, that was not the case. And it's debatable in history, but you know how that is, whether the word didn't get to them in time or they just were purposely not told or whatever. But we celebrate that June 19th. Okay, cool. So those of us who were celebrating it, right, we were already celebrating it. Okay, cool. It's cute that they gave us a holiday. Now, I'm going to say what every Black person was thinking. Well, white people get that day off too. And Hispanic people get that day off too. And Asian people get that day off too. Okay, cool, because other holidays, we get those off, okay. But what in that holiday is really special for us? So it started making you think deeper. Well, to me, personally, it's performative, it's symbolic, it's classic of what they do. They give us breadcrumbs. You could say it's progress because it is a holiday acknowledging at least something that pertains to us. But at the same time, we have been asking for bills specifically to help our community that do not have to involve anyone else. Kind of like the anti-hate Asian crime bill. We've been asking for reform in policing, different things. And what we've gotten is small victories in isolated areas, but no federal thing, no acknowledgement, no big thing. We get breadcrumbs. And I felt like it was a slap in the face. Usually I take off every Juneteenth and I do events. This year I worked, and it was almost like a solo protest, because I kind of felt like, well, what is it? Like, it's cute you give us a holiday, but you know what I'm saying? We're asking for changes in these areas. We're asking for changes in the criminal justice system. We're asking for changes in places in Hollywood. We're asking for changes in corporate America. We're asking for changes in all types of different areas. And no matter how many times we ask for it, we say, okay, well, let's have a reparations talk. Let's talk about reparations and why we're owed reparations, or how this could help our community if done correctly. And it's given, well, we're going to put Harriet Tubman on a dollar bill. How about that? Or, we have a problem with the police as it pertains to our community and our people dying unarmed, or in situations where other people seem to be able to live through them. Well, can't give you that, but we'll give you a cookout holiday. So when you really think about Juneteenth, it's okay, it's cool. We were already spending money on that day. We were doing like little events, but now it really is going to be a capitalistic thing, almost like the Pride marches now. Like, everything is about stimulating the economy and people paying for things. It's going to be like a celebration. We also do fireworks on Juneteenth. We're out there buying everything that's red, So it's kind of like bittersweet for me. So I was just wondering what everybody else felt about it. I came to the studio today and I had a conversation with my engineer, who he's white, so he felt like, it's not his place to speak on it, but we speak on all kinds of topics. And I was glad to hear that other people see through the bullshit, because that's what it is. It's like, cool, give me that, but give me the real stuff. Don't give me appetizers, give me the entree. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's a slap in the face. And to prove that, we're going to go to my next slide, which is E. So, critical race theory. So while they're telling us, we acknowledge what happened to the point that we want to give you a holiday. We're going to make it a federal holiday, and everyone who works for the government can acknowledge it and get the time off from work, right? And we're going to acknowledge this. But at the same time, there are bills throughout this country in almost the majority of states trying to stop critical race theory. For those of you who don't know what that is, basically critical race theory is something that kind of came many years ago, about 40 years ago. And when I often say to people, race is a social construct, because I really believe it is, right? And critical race theory talks about that, how it's not racial issues in this country are not just individual prejudices and biases. It's actually a byproduct of systemic things that have been put in place, and constructs that have been put in place to stimulate other areas. I totally believe that, for sure, right? And the curriculum that people want to, that racial scholars, they call themselves, want to implement, is teaching the truth in history, teaching how racism has affected communities in this country as it pertains to Black people, especially, so that we can have proper conversation, so that children can know the truth, and so that we can move forward, because you can't heal what you don't reveal, right? But they are trying their best to stop it, because they feel, this is the consensus I've gathered from most people. They feel that it will make the children feel guilty, and it's going to cause division amongst Black and white race in America. How much more divided and division can you get between Black and white people right now in America? Like, I don't understand. And most of the things that would be taught with critical, I would say all of it, actually, if you are a person who knows even a little bit about your own history, we already know these things. So why would it cause division amongst people who have been told a false history? Why would it all of a sudden make that? If anything, it would make us mad and angry. We already know these things. We teach our children these things. They affect us. You know, we have close ties to the criminal justice system because it's very hard to grow up and not have someone there. I have a brother right now serving 16 years in prison. Many of us have it. And when we go, and if you peel back most of these cases and you compare them to other people, it's totally different. Like, we experience these things anyway. So I think it's great to teach these things in school. And I think history in general, I don't care what race, what color, whatever, should always be taught in the truth. And for too long in this country, a lot of things have been whitewashed or watered down. I think, who was it that said that Robert E. Lee? I hate quoting Robert E. Lee, but I think he said the winners get to write the history. You know what I'm talking about, Eric?
Dude, I don't know.
It's
the
like
quote.
the victors get to, but that's true. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the victors get to write the history, and this country is going through a reckoning, and America is changing like fast. It's really changing. A lot of stuff that has been allowed is people ain't going for it no more. So that history is being course corrected, and I think hiding it or trying to shield children and other people from learning about these things doesn't do anything. But I sat and watched Loudoun County, Virginia, which is the wealthiest county as far as I know. I think they still are in Virginia. It's like very, very rich and one of the wealthiest in America. They were seething with anger about their children possibly learning critical race theory. And that is just mind-boggling to me. It's mind-boggling. So one thing you get to think about is the fact that they are angry is a product of not being taught correct history. So when you're taught false history, it's very easy to feel oppressed when people are saying, well, no, that's not right, and this is what it really is. Then you feel like you have to take a step down because all your life you've thought something else. So if we want to have people's mindsets be different later on and not really always think, no, the way that I've learned and I'm superior or this and that, we have to start telling the truth about everything. And to me, that doesn't just pertain to us. Let's stop telling kids that Pocahontas was just this beautiful native woman and what's his name, John Smith, and her fell in love and this was a great day and they cooked turkeys. And I mean, come on, like, stop lying about things that happen or we're going to really be doomed to keep going through the same cycles. And frankly, most of us normal people are tired of it. So I just think, don't give us a fake holiday. I'd rather have the truth taught. Don't give me Harriet Tubman on a dollar bill. Tell why Harriet Tubman never smiled in pictures. Don't tell our children in school that George Washington had wooden teeth. Tell them the truth that he had the teeth of slaves in his mouth. Like, that's horrible to think about, but we have to tell the truth to move forward. And all this, like, trying to keep it hidden, it's just, it needs to stop. That's how I feel about that one. So please, Broadway said they don't give something without taking something away. We need to protect our votes. That's very, very, very true. They don't. They usually take something away. If you're really paying attention, they're really slick with it. And they do that kind of in all areas in politics. It's like a sleight of hand trick that goes on. If you're getting something, even these stimulus checks, everybody's excited about them, but you just wait. You know what I'm saying? There's always something. There's always a catch. All right, so let's move to F. This is our last thing that has to do with race, but my reaction may shock some of y'all to this one. So, recently, because of the Juneteenth events, lots of corporations jumped on board and started giving things to their employees, like days off or vacation time or special events. Ikea decided to put something together. Get it? Put something together, like the furniture. So I'm doofy. So they decided to put something together. They said they're gonna have a special Juneteenth menu. They sent this out to their employees. I think it was over like 500 employees or something like that. And on the menu, they had things such as fried chicken, watermelon, cornbread, potato salad, greens, things like that. Okay, so what do y'all think happened? Well, there was a outrage, and there was a rack of their employees were so mad, and they called out. They stayed out of work in protest. First of all, I'm thinking some of them was like, "Oh, this is a good opportunity. I don't have to go to work and be protesting this." And I know that some people really were offended, but let's really, really talk about it, because like we gotta like I'm talking to Black people right now. Let's really, really talk about it. First of all, we do eat chicken. We do eat watermelon. We often have potato salad. We often have cornbread, greens. If this is not our cuisine, what should they have chosen? Is what I want to know. Because we do eat these things. And even though some of these things were used in a negative connotation to us later on, it's time that we like stop adopting only the negative and think that everybody is coming to offend us on that. I'm not personally offended. You know why? Because we make the best chicken. We fuck up some fried chicken. You know what I'm saying? Like that's dope. I'm proud of that. We got it. Put me in the kitchen next to Paula Deen. What? What? Like we know how to make fried chicken, and I'm really proud of that. And that's part of our cuisine. You know what I'm saying? Watermelon. Yes, they used to take pictures of us and put big watermelon slices in people's face and do the whole blackface thing and all this stuff. But I will never be ashamed of watermelon. Watermelon is not indigenous to America. Watermelon was brought here by our ancestors. Those were some of the fruits that were brought here. Watermelon is treated like gold in some places because it's one of the only fruits that can feed you and hydrate you at the same time. And that is indigenous to Africa. So it's almost to the point where, like, are we really offended? Is that really offensive? Like, should we really be offended over that? Should they have consulted with people and seen, like, what their sensitivity is in their company? Maybe so, but what should they have made? Like, I'm really confused. What should they have made? What is a Black cuisine dish? Please tell me in the comments. Jessica said they knew what they was doing. They may have known what they were doing, but why are you offended? I want somebody to explain to me why you're offended about it. Because that people always say, "Oh, we like chicken and watermelon." We do though. Like we really do. And I love it and you love it. Like most people love it. So even though it was used as a negative stereotype in the past, and don't get me wrong, and sometimes even now they use it as a negative stereotype, what should they have? If it shouldn't have been chicken or watermelon on the menu, what meat should have been there instead of chicken? And what meat should have been there instead of watermelon? Watermelon is red. For Juneteenth, you are supposed to, everything should be red. You're supposed to even dye the meats, really. But you're supposed to do that. Like, what alternative should they have done? I'm just trying to figure out. And I'm not trying to be, like, insensitive to, you know what I'm saying, what we've been through. But it's, I don't know. To me, it just seems like we be getting mad, but, like, we have to know why we're mad. Like, I'm not ashamed of watermelon. I will definitely. There was a time in my life that I would not eat watermelon in front of white people. I remember somebody was shocked that I said that. It was years that I would not eat watermelon in front of white people because I had only the negative in my mind. But when I really learned about it, I was like, there's nothing to be really ashamed of with this. This is dope. It's dope that they brought this over here and we now have this. Jessica says, is it what we were raised on? Absolutely. But some of us have changed our diets entirely, vegan, etc. That's true. Because when Susan says she can't eat what the company is ordering because of her dietary restrictions they accommodate, what should have been done was letting them vote. Okay. Maybe they should have voted for that. If Ikea was Black owned, would you feel the same exact way? would you say that they should be sensitive to the people who um, eat differently? I don't think so. We might have been standing at the little potluck thing, being like, "Well, Dad, they could have had something healthy." You know what I'm saying? My cholesterol going up just standing in the line. Like we might talk shit, but I don't think people would have been so mad. And I know that it matters who does it, but it's like, so from now on, no corporation that's not black should ever offer any chicken items or watermelon items for any Juneteenth, uh, Martin Luther King Day, anything that they observe. Is that what we're saying? I'm just trying to get on code, but this one kind of threw me for a loop because I felt like that is a traditional black in the diaspora in America meal, and that is what we serve a lot at our events. So I can see how they may have made that decision, thinking, "Hey, cool." Now, should they have included people and voted? I can get with that, but I just don't know what we wanted them to do. That's all I'm saying. So y'all tell me what you think in the comments about that. All right, so the last one, G. All right, man, let's talk about Trick Daddy. Okay. Ooh, so Trick Daddy gives 0 fucks. I don't know what was going on with him, but he's one of those rappers that whenever he has an interview, I listen because I laugh for like an hour straight. If you've never listened to a Trick Daddy interview, I definitely suggest you doing that. Oh, hold on. Jessica said if they really wanted to embrace culture, it should have been a cookout for real. Yeah, that's true, but it's also a company. I don't know if it was they said something like our special menu. I don't know if they were just offering it in the store or if that was for the employees. I kind of never got the point on that part, but not sure. So anyways, Trick Daddy is definitely a wild one in interviews usually. But recently, audio leaked of a Clubhouse. Clubhouse, the app that everybody was on during quarantine that's kind of died down a little bit. But he was on there, and he was going pretty hard on Beyonce and Jay-Z. So he said, Beyonce can't sing, and Jay-Z is not the greatest rapper. He's not the GOAT. And the same reason that people think Beyonce is the GOAT is the reason why people think Jay-Z is the GOAT. And he said some things that made sense. So he said, when Jay-Z stepped into that place, New York was looking for a savior because Biggie had died. That is true. I do recognize that. But at the same time, Jay-Z's not trash. Like, he's not trash. And yes, he definitely belongs on a Mount Rushmore of hip hop. So you can say the one thing that's true, but the other part, like, he might not be his GOAT. He might not be the greatest of all time to him, but he is considered a GOAT. So I don't even understand what Jay-Z and Beyonce did to him. And then Beyonce can't sing. Like, did you not watch Beachella? Did you not watch her Coachella performance? And I'm not talking about the Netflix documentary because that was dope, but it breaks down in parts. You know what I'm saying? You see like little parts. I'm talking about I watched it live and saw the amount of time it took for her to do outfit changes, the amount of times it took for her to go up and down, go up in the air, and tone was impeccable. Like, she can sing. She sings the way Beyonce sings. Of course, she's not singing like Tina Marie. She's not Whitney Houston. She's not Mariah Carey. But to say she can't sing, like, I'm thinking somebody might need to check on Trick Daddy, like, for real. Because that was kind of a crazy statement. But I do see people say stuff like that sometimes. So if somebody thinks that Beyonce really can't sing, please, please, please put it in the comments and let me know. Because that is just wild to me. And if you believe that, I would really encourage you to YouTube Dangerously in Love live. It was a long time ago, like when she first came out, and she sung it at I think American Music Awards or one of them shows. Whatever it was, she had like this pretty dress on. She had the big bun with the barrel curls like we used to do back in high school. And she sings and this dove comes to her hand or whatever. that performance, whatever that performance is, watch that and listen to her. And that's crazy that he would think that she can't sing, because that's all live and it's really great. So, and y'all make sure y'all answer who would win in a Timberland versus Pharrell battle, especially if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on one of the other platforms, you can always go to our Facebook page and comment under the watch party, or go to our YouTube page and do the same. As always, please, please, please make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and share, because I'm trying to get them followers up. I have a fluctuation of followers depending on the episodes, and I want to get it more streamlined and eventually get it just straight to YouTube. As far as going live, we will see. Next week, we have the good guys from Ish Talk TV on the podcast, and we will be discussing hip-hop as well and different topics. I was recently on their podcast. I had a great time. It was mad fun, mad fun. So they're out of, I think, Springfield and Maryland. They're Springfield and Maryland. They kind of record both places, but Ish Talk TV, ISHTALK TV. Make sure y'all check them out and follow them. They're really good guys. They have really good content, and they keep you laughing all week on their page, because they share like all the crazy things that are happening in Black culture, in the DMV, discussions, men and women's discussions, things like that. Good people. So definitely tune in next week. After that, the following week is the postponement date. It's the rescheduled date for Justice for Xavier with Latoya Benton, his mother. So please, please, please mark your calendars and check us out for that. And as always, I will try to get more content for you, and I will be here next week. Thank you very much, and bye.